Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and this is one I actually tried to put out earlier, but apparently had an audio problem. But this is unfortunately becoming an epidemic with just mysterious deaths everywhere. Recently, it's a former Arkansas state senator. We even have an Oklahoma state legislator, as well as Hillary Clinton's own brother, have mysteriously died. Or at least that's the go-to headline when it happens. In this case, we have an arrest made in the murder of an Arkansas state senator. Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, 48, of Pocahontas, is currently in custody, according to Arkansas State Police. Criminal charges are pending. There's not really a lot to this, which, for those of you who have watched or read my Twitter or anything for any amount of time, you'll know this is the type of reporting I actually like. It gives us what happened, when, where, and who was involved. Maybe the how. Maybe. Never the why. Unless you have a direct statement from the person that is supposedly responsible for a crime, with them telling you why they did it, you don't jump to conclusions. You don't go on and say, well, this person was a white supremacist and they hate the Democrats and they are this, that, and the other, or this person was a Trumplican who is determined to blah, 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 blah. Don't jump to conclusions. Give me the who, the what, the when, the where. Maybe the how, never the why, until you have that statement from the horse's mouth. Now, this woman, from the last story I read, was apparently very close to exposing some very high-level Arkansas state officials who were involved in basically child sex trafficking, child pornography, or just assaulting children. And now she's dead. And this is a worrying trend we're seeing. You see, we had Seth Rich, who, from all reports, had information that would not be viewed as favorable by some very high-powered, high-level people in Washington, D.C. Mysteriously, he's mugged in an alley, shot in the back of the head, and nothing is taken. He's actually then said to be recovering in the hospital, but then he dies. And only after he's gotten to the hospital do his belongings vanish. This is worrying for many reasons, and for those who are students of history and political science, you'll understand better than most why. You see, under tyrant regimes, Stalin, Pol Pot, Maduro, Castro, Hitler, Kim Jong-un, political dissidents, basically those who challenge your political power, they vanish. They're to be done away with. And this screams corruption involved to me. I'm not the person who's going to jump up and say, this person had this done. We may get to the end of this story and find out that the person arrested is just a nut job. And they just happened to have targeted someone that high-powered, corrupt idiots wanted taken care of. We may hear something totally different. But this is kind of why I'm doing this. You'll know, if you watch, that the topics on this channel are all over the map. But if there's not a statement in the article that says why something happened, I don't make a jump and say why something happened. Okay? It's just not in me. Had I been running this channel, 2.5, 3 years ago, when the story about the private server having bleach bit applied, BlackBerries and other mobile devices having hammers taken to them and so on and so forth, that tells me that those were destroyed to prevent them being examined. Why? I'm not going to say. I'm not going to speculate what was on them. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say, well, obviously, now we can't examine them. Even though I happen to know from 37 years of being around technology, starting all the way back in kindergarten, working with computers in computer lab then, and growing up using technology, a lot of it can be recovered even if it's smashed. So you have to really go at something and pulverize it, shattering every single piece to render it unusable. And you have to have a really good reason to do that. In this case, you have to be able to say that you are going to take a life. And why that is worrying. It's worrying that we have people with that kind of mindset. Now, of course, this was not a white male using an AR-15, so also the victim in this case was a Republican who, by a previous report, was working to end a ring of people abusing children. So, of course, this hasn't made any national news at all. But this proves criminals are going to do what they're going to do. And unfortunately, we have a very promising young woman struck down in the prime of her life. And now whatever she knew is gone. And just on the surface, that's rather worrying. Because, one, it either points to a much larger number of very sick individuals who just want to cause harm everywhere they can, or it points to something much darker and much worse. And both of them should worry you. At present, like I said, all we know is that at present, the Arkansas State Police, along with Randolph County Sheriff's Department, have arrested one person in connection with the homicide of former Arkansas State Senator Linda Collins Smith. Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell, 48, of Pocahontas, is currently in custody, according to the Arkansas State Police. Criminal charges are pending. And, of course, Arkansas State Police has not released the connection between the suspect and the victim. That, one, it tells me that the Arkansas State Police know how to do their job. They know how to do what every attorney I've ever talked to and asked about hypotheticals of what happens here, what happens if this happens, what do I do if this happens. The answer to all of them is shut your mouth. You don't talk to anybody. Not until you've talked to your lawyer. And trust me, Arkansas State Police is going to talk to some attorneys and find out what legal ramifications are for releasing certain things. And then they're going to talk to their PR people, and then their PR people are going to talk to the press, and they're going to tell us what they're able to. I would hope that this is an issue that is not political. Liberal, conservative, center, middle of the road, I don't care who you are. This should be something that is just abhorrent to everyone. Murder. Politically motivated or not. But unfortunately, like I said, we're seeing with the national news that the death of a former Arkansas State Republican senator isn't newsworthy, while they scream and yell that they are unbiased. It just all smells rotten to me. But honestly, there's not much more I can say on this. I've already ventured far afield more than once. So this is something I'm going to say I'm going to watch because it is something I'm very interested in. But let me know what you think. As always, remember, stay civil. We do not learn from argument, we learn from debate. as well. Please remember to like and share the video to expand the conversation, and to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you're the first to know of all new content as it posts. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.